Hey guys, happy Tuesday to everyone. Happy Tuesday to you. I'll give you time to come on. We have a great conversation tonight, so I'll give you some time to come on. I am in a different environment today, so we're gonna make it do what it do, right? So good. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Great topic. Do me a favor, start sharing right now. Start sharing. Start sharing. Amen. All right, share. I'm gonna do some sharing myself. So we want to get people into the conversation. There was a YouTube glitch, so I'm on my Serve Church page tonight. So it was a glitch, so that's where I'm at tonight. Want to share myself. How y'all been? It is Tuesday. Uh, we're not halfway through yet, so we got more things to do this week. But again, do me a favor and go ahead and share. I'm looking at my phone because I need to share too as well. I need to share as well. Let me see here. Don't see it. Make sure I'm on Facebook too as well because I don't see it on YouTube. Sometimes we be having technical difficulties. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, let me see real quick here. It's like it's a little, I don't know why it's doing that, but we are on Facebook. So I just went public. I don't know why it was set up like that. No idea. But we'll give you some time to come on. And I'm gonna check out YouTube as well. Check out YouTube. Check out YouTube. Let's see. Where we at? If you're on YouTube, you can check it out. I'm trying to see if we're on the YouTube channel. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. We should be live on the YouTube channel too. Well, YouTube people gonna be looking for me. Oh my goodness, I don't know why. This technology sometimes is crazy. So it looks like I may have to just go off of Facebook tonight because YouTube is not letting me do what it needs to do. Let's not give myself a real quick minute here. I could probably go live on YouTube as well through my other device. So we're gonna see if we can go live on YouTube with my other device. Let's see here. And while I'm doing this, go ahead and share. Invite someone to the conversation. We're talking about secrecy and privacy in relationship. It's kind of a thin line, isn't it? All right. Let me see here. I'm gonna try to go live on YouTube. Share. Let me see real quick. Don't know why it did not work for the YouTube page. Let's see. But we're gonna try something to see if it works. Never tried this before, so all we can do is try. Okay. That's not going to work. I didn't think so, but we're gonna, again, I'm going to attempt to make something work real quick here. If y'all bear with me, we're gonna see if we can make something work. So I don't know why it's not on my YouTube page. No. Let's do this. No. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Don't know what's going on there. So we're going to talk about it on our Facebook page. So if you don't have Facebook, I'm sorry tonight, but we want to deal with this topic of secrecy and privacy versus privacy in relationships. So if you do me a favor, you're watching, go ahead and share with somebody. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and share with somebody. Let them know. You see the view? Yeah, it's pretty nice. I had to get one of the offices with a view, or my office with a view. Okay, all right. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and let's just go ahead and jump into the conversation because a couple of things we're going to bring out is privacy versus secrecy. What is the difference? What do we feel is the difference when you're talking about? We've been dealing with relationship conversation here. Those that have been tuning in the last 2 weeks, we didn't have it. Wasn't feeling the best last Tuesday. But we talk about privacy versus secrecy. What's the difference, right? So this conversation matters, I believe. It matters from the relationship, from the standpoint of dating, and then relationship and marriage. Dating, relationship, and marriage, right? Now, when it comes to dating, I think that you have more of a is not as serious, right? So you will have some private things that perhaps maybe in the dating phase is not necessarily shared or talked about. But some may argue that if it's really serious, that those things that are really significant in your life, you do have to have a conversation, and it can't be secrecy within this conversation, right? So we talk about that, and we talk about marriage, and that's a whole nother spectrum, because with dating and relationship, it could be a very thin line to how much you share. So let's talk about that. So when you're dealing with dating and relationship, how much is too much to share, or do you share everything, right? Because some people have a different stance here, where some people say, hey, I think that some things need to be talked about, but not necessarily everything, because everything's not your business. Well, is it their business though if you all are in a dedicated, committed relationship and you're trying to pursue something bigger? Is it that you have to share all? Let's have a conversation tonight. Do you think that some things are not worth sharing, or do you think that you have to share all? Now, the share all thing can be very not black and white. It can be very complicated because some things you probably have totally forgotten about, right? And how do you know what is share worthy? I'll ask that question. How do you know what's share worthy? How do you know what is supposed to be shared in a relationship, right? When I say share worthy, some things you just know you have to share, right? You have to share about maybe certain past things that impact you now emotionally, mentally. Some things that you may face in previous relationships that may have some type of significant impact on now. But do you have to share everyone that you've been with, right? In terms of, oh, I can talk to this person, I can talk to that person, and here's their name, here's their last name, and here's what city they live in, here's what neighborhood they live in. Like, do you have to share all those things? Let's have a conversation. What do you think? Those that are watching, you're in a relationship, right? You're really serious in this relationship. Do you feel that your previous people that you previously dated, that you have to share with your new person like information about them in terms of who they were, who they are, what happened, why'd you break up, why didn't you last, or do you think like, hey, that's just I'm past that. That's just not even talk about that. Or do you think that you owe that to your partner to say, hey, let me tell you how this thing happened. I'm interested to see your conversation. We have 6, 7 people right now watching. What do you say if you're currently in a relationship or not in a relationship, or you're thinking about one day you will be in a relationship? Do you feel that you have to share with your new person everyone's name? Like, so yeah, I used to date John Doe, and then I used to date Doe John, and then I used to date Lil John, and then I used to date T.I., and then I used to date Morris Chestnut, and then I used to date, like, do you have to do that? I mean, do you have to share everyone you dated? Is that important? And if you don't share it, is that considered you being secretive? Because when we talk about, secrecy, it can be muddy water, right? Because some things people may say, oh, you're just being secretive about. You're not. You just didn't know that it was worth talking about, right? Can I get an amen or something? Can I get like, you're right? Like, some things you don't know is worth talking about, and so you don't share it. But do you think when you're in like that serious relationship, committed relationship, that, for my example, that when it comes to like maybe past relationships, that your mate should know everyone that you used to talk to? And they should know that, right? They should know their name, what city, what state they're from, their telephone number. No, not all that. But do you think that's important? Or do you think like, hey, let's not even bring them up? Let's just, who cares about them? Like, really, who cares about them? Okay, so one says yes. I would say yes. And that's a female saying that, like, yeah, I need to know. I need to know. Like, so you need to know, like, hey, so I dated, so go all the way, how far though? Do you go back like to high school? Like, hey, I dated Carla in high school, and then after Carla in 9th grade, then I dated Jessica in 10th grade, and then me and Jessica didn't work out, so I dated Tamara in my last year in high school, but we didn't work out, and then I went to college, and then I dated Jocelyn, and then I dated Becky with the good hair. Yeah, I dated Becky with the good hair. Like, how far do you go back? Like, do you go back to childhood, or do you go back to like the last couple people? Right? Like, do you really want to know everybody? And then if you do, what's the reason behind it? Let's talk about that. If you want to know everybody that he dated or everybody that she dated, then what's your reasoning by it? Especially, here's the thing, especially if you don't know them, right? If you don't know them, like, is it really significant to talk about them? Okay, at least the past 5 years. Okay. So in sharing that, you share who you used to date. Now, sharing who you used to date can be one thing. Another spectrum is sharing. Come here. Should you share? Come here. Come closer. Should you share your body count? Should you share your body count? Oh. She'd be like, hey, baby, so now if you're watching and you say, what's a body count? Just get on off. I'm just joking. If you don't know what a body count is, no worry. I just found out what a body count is probably about a year ago. Didn't know. I don't know who came up with that terminology. Body count's like, kill somebody. How many people you kill? But no, body count is how many people you've been with intimately, sexually. So do you share with your mate how many people in your body count, right? Is that important? If you don't share that with your mate, is that considered being secretive or private? Should they know? Like, hey, you know what? So I've been with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amen. Oh yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. About 7, no, well, no, 18, 19. Oh, that was that one time, 20. Like, do you want to know that? Do you want to know? Do you think that that is something that someone in a relationship should share? Like, hey, it's been about 25 people. How old are you? I'm 24. What? Like, does that make you run? Right? Is that important to you? Some people say, yeah, it's important. I need to know the body count. Or the thing, or that what's more important is that, hey, they're good. No, they're good. They don't have any sicknesses and no things they can give to you, right? Because some people can go through 50, 60 people and be healthy, clean, nothing, right? Somebody can only have 2 or 3 people in their life and then be like, and got something, right? So some things could be important, some things may not be as important. Now, we're having an adult conversation here, so, feel free to chime in. Feel free to chime in. But so, is that important? So, when we talk about privacy versus secrecy, what is privacy in a relationship? So, people say that every relationship should have healthy boundaries. And that may fall under the guide of privacy, meaning, for example, do your mate need your password to your cell phone, to your computer? Would you say that's my privacy? You don't need that. Let's talk. Who's in the chat? Let's talk. Do you say, hey, that's my privacy? I'm not sharing that information with you. Nope, I'm not sharing it. It's my privacy, and I don't have to give you my password. Nope. So those type of things, right? Some people say that when you talk about privacy, it's respecting individuality, meaning that not everything needs to be shared. Same thing with, do you share Facebook pages? I know couples, they share Facebook pages, and you'll see Lisa and John page, like they share it. They don't have any separate Facebook account. I guess they literally take that vow, like when the two become one. Like, so if we're becoming one in our finances, if we're becoming one and we live in the same household, we're gonna become one in everything. So the bank account and the Facebook account. It's funny how married people will share bank accounts. They won't share social media accounts. What's up with that? Like at the end of the day, I think bank account is more significant and has more of a risk than social media accounts. Like bank account, like that's where your savings at, that's where your money's at. And what if one person is more crazy with the spending, and like you're willing to share the bank account, but when it comes to the social media account, no, that's my individuality. Do you think married couples should have the same Facebook account? Like they no longer have separate accounts? Facebook accounts, social media accounts, Instagram, TikTok, all should be Lisa and John page. And y'all married photos and everything like that. See, some people say, no, you're being secretive. No, or some people say, no, this is my private account. I think that there's some things that, again, respecting individuality. If you're watching tonight, I want to hear from you. If you're married, used to be married, thinking about getting married, in a relationship, you think people that says, hey, we should have same social media accounts, because we're not on social media. There's no privacy. We're one. I hear crickets. I hear crickets tonight. I'm telling you, secrecy versus privacy is a very sensitive, touchy situation. So, do you feel, some people think that when you have a privacy concern that it does not build trust, right? Like, so we have to share everything, and that kind of helps with the trust. I think trust is when you don't have to share and you trust them too. Because the thing is, if everything is so transparent, there's no need for trust, right? Everything's so transparent, we share everything, like, it's almost opposite of trust, because it's so transparent that I trust you because I can see everything, right? Trust to me is when you can't see, but you trust them to make the right decision, make the right calls. I know. I don't know. So yeah. Somebody said no. Lady said no. We're not sharing. We're not sharing social media accounts. Don't you think it's funny that many married people do share bank accounts, but they refuse to share social media accounts? Because even the bank account is still individuality. Now, some people do have a shared account, bank account, and then they have their own separate account. But old school people, that was like when I was raised, they had like one, and they all shared it. They wanted that full transparency. It wasn't about, oh no, this is my account. This is your, no, it was like one. Oh man. Somebody said no joint accounts, but I don't see anything wrong with having each other's passwords. Just make a joint page and keep the separate one. Well, then you just, I mean, I don't even know why people have a joint page, like social media page. I understand why they got a joint bank account. And I see you said no bank account, or no joint accounts. But I don't see anything wrong with having each other's passwords. Okay. Now let's talk about that. So we have no joint. Our account is not joint. No joint account. Then, but I have your password. So I have access to your account, but it's not joint because I think it's because you just feel like we're both individuals, and so we're going to post maybe different things. I don't want to, and I guess you still could post what you want to post and just put your name. This is from Jan, and then when he posts, this is from Tom. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know I'm not by myself. You all have seen joint people's Facebook accounts. And if you're watching right now and you got a joint account with your loved one or with your mate, we're not talking about you. Yeah, that's good. That's good in case of Gina. It's good in case of emergency, right? Yeah, they made it to get to the account. So what do you do if your mate says no? You're not getting my login information. No. Do you take that as a what are you hiding, or do you take it as I want individuality? Like, no, you don't need my password. Would you take offense to that if they say no, you're not having my password? Go find something else to do. Is it offensive, or is it like, no, it's okay not to have it? You should respect their individuality. Again, privacy and secrecy. Now, what is secrecy, right? Well, I think secrecy is like hiding actions with the intention to avoid accountability or to deceive. That's secrecy. That's the secrecy. Hiding actions with intention to deceive or avoid accountability. I think that's secrecy. Like some things people say, well, some things I want to just keep to myself and it's private, but private can be borderline, you just being secretive, right? And then that's where it becomes very difficult because you're like, are they being private or are they just trying to hide something? Because secrecy, I think, does create some level of emotional distance. I remember somebody that, they seemed very secretive when it came to certain things, right? Sometimes I've known people that felt that their mate was very secretive when it came to their finances. They didn't want them to know how much they made, and they were married. And didn't want their spouse to know how much they made. And their argument was, I pay the bills are paid on time, why do you need to know how much I make? Is that private or is that secret? Let's talk, y'all. If your husband come in and say, look, baby, I pay the bills, so you don't need to know how much I make. Just know I make enough to take care of the house, and you see that I've been taking care of the house, so why do you need to know how much I make? Is that being secretive, or is that respecting his privacy? What do you say? I want to hear from you. He says, listen, I am not telling you how much I make, but I'm paying these bills, so be good. Is he being secretive? Or is he like, hey, this is a private thing that I feel what I make is private? I feel, for example, some secret things can line up with the thing of, maybe um, some couples, and they don't know, I don't know if they know or not, but sometimes couples, I have heard. I don't think I knew anyone that has it, so I don't have any examples. But for example, this is definitely secrecy. Some couples have the Facebook page, but they got another Facebook page, and their mate don't even know about the other Facebook page. And on the main Facebook page, they are married, but on the other one, they're single and ready to mingle. Two separate. Now that is not privacy. That is being secretive. Why do you need two? No, if you got two Facebook pages, then why your mate don't know both other pages? Both you got two pages. You've heard of people like that. Some of y'all watching, you've heard of people like that. You know people like that probably. I don't know anyone in particular, but I've heard of that before, where they'll have two different accounts, right? Even like bank accounts. They have a joint account, and then they may have a separate account, and they have another account that their mate knows nothing about. And people have died and found out my spouse had a whole other account, and this account looked nice. Like, what the heck? Is that being private, or is that being secretive? Yeah, that's secrecy. Yeah, I mean, come on, you got a whole other account. Whole other account, either a social media or a bank account. One might know about. my husband ain't gonna know about this account. It's just ain't women be having some separate stash, some separate money, and then the man be paying the bills and giving her money, and she got her separate stash, and he don't even know about that. But yeah, I've heard of women having their separate stash, and they may not tell their husband because whatever reason. I guess they don't want him to ask for it, or they're saving it for a rainy day. And if he knew that she had it, they'd probably be like, let's go into that stash, so they keep some for a rainy day. But is that being secretive? Should your husband know about that separate stash? God forbid something happened to you and nobody knows where it's at. If anybody should know, it should be your husband. What do I know? Oh, also, if you have your partner blocked on your page. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's another one. I've heard of that. And sometimes people have the reason for that, they say, is because their partner can't handle the social media interaction with the other people on social media. So, for example, if she's an Instagram model or Instagram model wannabe, and she got all these guys saying, "Hey, mom, what's up with you? Do. He gets mad. Who is this blank? Who is this? So they block their partner so that they won't be offended by the comments and the statements on Facebook. But blocking, that blocking your mate is that's just cringy, isn't it? Why would you block your mate? That makes them feel something's going on. Something's going on. It ain't no privacy, it's not no privacy thing. You block a friend, you block somebody else. You don't block your mate. I'm sorry, I can't get with that. But as we know, people do it. And I wonder sometimes, do the mate know they've been blocked? Or do they feel that maybe their spouse is no longer on Facebook? What do y'all think? Do they feel do they know they've been blocked, or do they feel like, oh, yeah, he done got off on Facebook, or she done got off of Facebook? They fasted from Facebook. No, you just got blocked. There ain't no fasting. They ain't fasting from Facebook. They just blocked you. So that's a good point. I've heard that when people are actually blocking their mate, which is totally that's kind of unheard of. But let's talk about the line, though. Where's the line? I think the key question is to ask yourself, am I protecting my peace or am I avoiding the truth? Say it again. I think the question we have to ask is this like protecting my peace, or am I avoiding the truth? I mean, emotional versus physical secrecy. Emotional versus physical secrecy. Withholding feelings versus cheating, right? I think some red flags is, people that have wrong intentions. They, one, will be very defensive. They'll start gaslighting, and then you'll see a change in how open they are. They were more open, but now they're kind of withdrawing and being more reserved with what they say. So when we talk about the thing of secrecy and privacy, and in terms of relationship, and not, I mean, if you get to the marriage part, I think that the marriage part, it really have to have like this complete transparency when it comes to the marriage part, because you two have said, hey, we are connected, we are one. So when it comes to bank accounts, we're one, right? Not necessarily saying you can't have your own. I think a smart thing is, because I know somebody here said no joint accounts. I think the smart thing some people do, and I think it's pretty cool, that they have a joint account and they also have their separate account. I don't know if that's a problem, right? Have your joint for the bills and so forth, and then you have your separate. Because here's the challenge: if it's all joint, there's times you want to surprise your mate, surprise your spouse. You really can't when it's joint. You really can't. I mean, you probably could in a way. I don't know, maybe have somebody else do the purchase or whatever, but it's like, hey, I just seen this amount of money came out the bank. Yeah, what's this for? And then you also have that thing where people, if it's not bills, right? Like, you as a man, as a woman, have that free will to make purchases on your own. But what happens when you have a bank account, when you have a joint account for everything, somebody's gonna be looking. Like, wait a minute, you kind of spending too much here, right? You kind of spending too much. Yeah, I don't know. But if you have an account where like this is strictly for our bills, and then the separate account is what, trips, whatever you want to do, eat, whatever you want to do. But let's take care of the main thing first, and maybe another account for saving, saving for rainy days, investing, or whatever it may be. And separate things, but when you have those joint, that could be very challenging for any relationship. Coming here, you also have to create the base for them to be open, and that's the thing. Or the space, yes, that's the thing. People says, I've been saying it lately. We listen and we don't judge. Is that? I mean, can you really listen and not judge? Or and maybe you can not judge, but can you listen and not feel the way? Let's talk about it, because he says right here, create the space to be open, and that's a lovely thing. That's a thing that I think every couple, serious couple, especially married couple, should have the space to be open. And when you say open, like completely open. Like, you should never, your mate really should not feel uncomfortable telling the truth. Nah. You shouldn't create this kind of like this culture where they feel they cannot tell the truth. Baby, you like that food tonight? No, I really don't. Like, it didn't taste good at all. But you find yourself, oh yeah, it was great. Oh yeah, that's some good food. Like, no, you're not being open. Because what's gonna happen? She's gonna keep on making that same old dry mac and cheese. Because you kept saying, oh, this mac and cheese good. Oh, this girl you threw down. You need to throw it away, not throw down. You need to throw it away. But if you kind of just not open, right? And I think that's also another part of, it may sound funny, but it's another part of privacy, because you got your private thoughts and you're not being forthcoming with your private thoughts. No, share it. Share it. And you don't share it in a way to hurt somebody, but be like, hey, ooh, we want to check out we want to go back to the drawing board and look at some recipes for this mac and cheese. You know, soften it up. Soften it up. You know how to do it. Another comment, yes, not collect ammo to use later. You talk about openness. It can't be, I use this later. Just like you said last time, and I knew it. No. Can you imagine, though, a world, not just relationship, a world where you could be, like, completely just like, I'm being open. And I'm going to be open in a way that I'm not trying to be hurtful. I'm being open in a way that it can bring some resolution. It can help us as a couple, as a team, that type of openness. How much powerful would that be? So let's talk about this. My last 20 minutes tonight. Why do couples hide things? Let me sip on my water here. Why do couples hide things? I think the first one, no, I want to hear from you. Why do you think couples hide things? Have you ever been in a relationship and you hid something? And if you have, why? Why? Why do couples hide things? Well, I was trying to give you time to comment. I think fear of judgment or consequences. Yeah. Fear of judgment and consequences. That's one, in my own opinion, I feel that's one reason why couples hide things, because they fear the judgment of the other person that they're sharing this information with. Or I think, to your point, Thomas, people have to create a space where you can be open. And if that space is really created and nobody using no ammo later on, I think then people would not feel the need to hide. They'll share more. Like they will get, I'm gonna stand a little bit, y'all. My bottom's starting to hurt a little bit. Maybe they'll share more. That could be it. Some people people hide things is because of past trauma. Past trauma. So in the past, they may have shared with somebody in a relationship, and that person made them feel bad for sharing, made fun of them for sharing, made them feel less than for sharing, made them rethink who they were, made them feel less, like their worth was like diminished. So past experiences, or some people hide things because guess what? Learned behavior, which can also stem from past experiences and past trauma. They learn to hold things in. They learn to. They feel that some people have this thing where they feel like, I'm not sharing everything with you. You're not. Who are you? Who are you? I don't have to share everything with you. I'm my own person, and you are your own person. But again, relationship, marriage, there has to be some level of breaking that barrier. Like, yeah, you're your own person, but you said I'm your person too. Like, that's my person. That's my person. Oh, he's my person. She's my person. Well, your person should be able to share with your person, and your person shouldn't again hold it against you. They shouldn't hold it against you. People also hide things because of lack of communication. Let's just call it what it is. Or I say emotional, lack of emotional maturity. Because it takes a mature person to sit down and have a very candid conversation about their feelings, how you make me feel, how they make you feel. It takes a mature person to sit down and have that conversation. And it takes another mature person on the other end not to take offense to the conversation, because the days in which we're living in, people are easily offended. And so you have to be able to present how you feel in relationships in a way that is not offensive, because again, people get offended quickly. And sometimes, you don't even mean it for what you're sharing to be offensive. You don't even mean it. But guess what? It just happens. Um, those just watching, there have to be, when we have this conversation, talk about secrecy and privacy, there has to be some level of what is the solution, right? Again, as I started off the show, if I don't say it, does that mean I'm being secretive? Like, help me, Facebook. How do you know what to share? Like, do you think, how do you know what to share? Because I would say it's based on relevance. If it's relevant to your mate, you share. But what you may define as relevant and non-relevant or irrelevant, your mate may say, no, I need to know that. So how do you know, from your perspective, what is share-worthy and what's not? Like, what do you know? Because some things you may just don't share because you don't think the other person even cares to know, right? I remember when I was married, my wife at the time, she had said something about something some guy said to her while she was out. And I remember she was pregnant with Madison. And she said, yeah, guys be still trying to holler at me while I'm pregnant, something like that. And I said, I didn't know that. And she was like, yeah, I do. I'm like, huh, you never told me that. She's like, well, I didn't think you wanted to know. Like, what good is that going to do you? So things like that, right? That example made me think and I was like, huh, that's a good point. Like, do I really want to know? Who's trying to holler at her? What do you say? You on Facebook right now. You're in a relationship, you're in a marriage. Do you think your spouse should come home and be like, hey, yeah, I was at the store and this guy tried to holler at me? Or, hey, I was at the gym and this girl was like, ooh, look at your abs. I like that. She was flirting with me. Do you tell your mate that? Or do you feel like, they don't need to know that? Like, why you didn't put that in their head? Come on, talk to me, y'all. Do you share those? Do you share that? Is it something that you need to share? Come on, you just share it. Somebody's trying to, holler at you, talk to you. You don't know them. Your mate don't know them. They're like this, somebody off the street. Is that share worthy? Okay, we got a married sister here. She said no. Right, because if you share that, I don't know. Now here's the thing. I found myself doing it. Sometimes I overshare. Anybody ever overshare? Like I would share something like that and just be laughing at it. And in the past, somebody be like, oh, for real? She's like, oh, for real? And I'm just laughing at it because, it's this random person, but and you're right, unnecessary information. So true. But here's the thing. Sometimes it's, how you ever how's your day going? My day went fine, right? And you just sharing what happened in your day, and you had a moment that you thought was comical, and you share it. Or maybe it wasn't comical, but maybe it just comes out like, yeah, I was at the store, and this person's like, oh, look at you all sharp, looking nice and all that. And you just sharing it with your mate, and then they looking at you like, oh, for real? Oh, she thought you looked nice? Oh, for real? Oh, so now you walk around looking nice? You already know I'm walking around looking nice. But it could be like a funny thing for you, and you share it, and they don't see the funny. The only thing they see is somebody says you look nice, and you don't even know who they are, right? So, but I found that out though. Sometimes we can overshare. And you may find it funny, hilarious, because you don't think nothing of it, but your mate be like, oh, for real? Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so you out here, I see you. Yeah, okay. No, you better not wear that suit no more. You better not put that cologne on no more. That's what I tell you better not do. But I was just telling you they said my cologne smelled good. No, you know, guess which one was it? Yeah, that was in the trash. I bought it though. I don't care. They won't be smelling that no more. You know what? I tell you what, you don't put no more cologne on. You just put some soap on. That's all. And I want you to do the soap with no scent. Yeah, I don't want them smelling you because you're an overshare. You know, over. I cracked myself up, yeah. But you know, I'm that person who probably would like just overshare, and like you said, unnecessary information. And I agree. Now, I think you should share if for example, both parties know the person, right? You both know them, right? And you know, you run into them in the Kroger, and they just being a little fresh. Like, wait a minute, you know me and my wife, you know me, no, you're a little too fresh now. Hey. Now I think that one you should share because who knows, it may come up later, right? Right? Somebody say amen or ouch. One of those things. I think you should share. Because y'all both have some level of interaction or encounter with that person, and it's a horrible thing for your mate to be smiling up somebody's face and they got some hidden agendas. So I want to close tonight with this. Where's it at? How do we come together and navigate through this line that can be very thin line, it can be very muddy, right? Like when it comes to privacy and when it comes to secrecy, and because some people, let's be honest, you do become offended by it because you expect one thing and you're, kind of, seeing something else, right? So how do you navigate through it? I think open conversation about, hey, sweetie, let's draw the line. What is private? What's secret? Now, everything you won't know. You won't have examples for everything. But I think you can give some examples. Like, this is what I consider private, being private, and this is what I consider being secret. And here's the thing that I still scratch my head with. Like, do you have privacy when you're married, though? Do you still have privacy? Let's answer that question before we close tonight. When you're married, do you still have privacy? We know you don't have secrecy. You shouldn't. But when you're married, do you still have privacy? I want to hear from you. When you're married, do you still have privacy? Or when you get married, does that privacy go out the window? You have no privacy. Nope. That's why they walk in on you in the bathroom, you use the bathroom, you don't got no privacy. Nope. Do you have any privacy when you get married? And if you say yes, give me an example. Give me an example. So lock phones, like some people, I know with me, I know with my company email that when it's on the phone, it says that you have to have a phone that's locked because of, I guess, like company information. I remember that. Company information, county information. So you have to have a phone that's locked because you can access your email, of course, through your phone. But I don't know. Like, that's a good question. What context? I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to ask: is there any context? That's what I'm asking you all. Is there any context where you would have privacy as a married person? I don't know. I'm trying to think. What would you need privacy for as a married person? Come on, y'all. I'm closing in 5 minutes. I'm trying to help me think, because this is not in my notes here. And I just was thinking, I'm kind of like thinking out loud, like what kind of privacy would a married person need that will be considered legit, right? Let me see, because I'm kind of lost. Let's look here. See. I don't know. looking at some other notes, but I don't see anything. I don't know. So even with like couples that go to like therapy, maybe you have your own like therapist, right? And you share. Like, is that your privacy? Like, your spouse don't need to know what you share with your therapist. Like, do you feel that you can share with your therapist, you know, whatever, but the things you share with your therapist, you can't share with your spouse, which is interesting. You have to. People do all the time. They share with their girls, but won't share with their husband. Vice versa. He share with the fellas, but don't share with the woman, his wife. Like, is there any situation where you have privacy? And I think answering that question, married people or those about to be married, it can make you wonder, like, yeah, isn't that a good question? Like, because people like it's my, I like to have my privacy. When you get married, you have your privacy with everybody else, but you don't have privacy with your spouse. That's out the window. I don't know. I'm gonna think on that. I may post about it later tonight because I'll be here stomped about it. Like I've never, even with my experience being married and so forth, I never really thought about that. Like, do you actually still have privacy when you get married, or is all that gone? And if you're a person that's private, very private, you may be challenged with that. Yeah, you're like, if you're used to being private and this being very, and I won't say introvert because you can be introvert and still be very open and transparent, but just like very like some people like very private. Would that be a challenge for you? Is there privacy in marriage? I like that question. We'll deal with that maybe later on. But yeah, open conversations with what's private, what's secret, and I think building trust through clarity and also consistency. Building trust through clarity, consistency, being very consistent, and also being very clear in conversation, in what we're talking about. We have to, so some people be very tiptoeing around. You got to kind of figure things out. No, be clear. We're too over this. We're too over this. Be very clear. That's how you kind of build that trust there. And then I think setting mutual expectations without controlling. Like let's set these expectations, and we're not trying to control one another, but we set mutual. We're both coming into an agreement what we think is secret, private, and again that question though, like, hey, do we even have any privacy? If we don't, then we should have secrets, but then we also should have privacy. But again, the secret one can be very tricky because they may call something a secret that you didn't even think of, and something may come out later on, and like, well, I never even thought about that. How you just being secret about that? No, it was out my mind. I'm over that. It's been 15, 20 years ago. Didn't think to bring it up. You're not being secret. You probably just didn't think to bring it up. But when you're being secret, you know you're being secret. That's the difference when you really know in yourself, like, yeah, I was holding that, I was keeping that. But privacy and secrecy in a relationship can be a very, very sticky conversation. Hey, yeah, listen, he said out the window. Yeah, I think so too, Gina. I think it's out the window. When you get married, privacy is out the window. This is not a religious podcast, but I will say this because it's in me that when God created Adam and then created Eve, they two both were naked and not ashamed. They were naked and not ashamed. That nakedness, yeah, literally they were naked, but also for me, it says they were transparent. They were open with each other. They didn't have privacy. Yeah. Hey, y'all, look, thanks for tuning in tonight. Secrecy versus privacy. Appreciate you. Appreciate the conversation, the dialogue in the chat tonight. And I will be doing some things the next couple weeks and months to come. And so season 2 of Vic Phillips podcast will be coming out little teasers will be coming out soon, but it will not be the next following next couple months. It will be probably more so coming back in the late summer. Late summer, 'cause I got some things, a lot of things going on. But season two, we're gonna. I kept it kind of mild. Sometimes conversation got a little, I kept it kind of mild, but season two is really gonna be raw, uncensored, uncut, and I can't wait for the conversations that I have for season two. We've been dealing with a lot of relationships, but we're gonna deal with some of that along with religion, relationships, religion, and it's going to get, yeah. You're going to have to be ready for season two. Hey, thank y'all. Appreciate you. I'll see y'all in the early fall, late summer. All right. God bless you.